This is the ferry that you take, amphibious vehicle. That's the kiosk there where you get your tickets. There's the bay that you go down.
Hold on a minute.
So we're just getting on the ferry now to go to Elizabeth Castle.
Light cameras, life jackets above your heads, 2 small screens at the back, 1 at the front, short safety video, you'll be there in under 10 minutes.
We're on our way to Elizabeth Castle, short safety video.
This ferry runs to and from Elizabeth Castle approximately every 30 minutes. Now, more observant among you may have noticed it has wheels. This is because it is amphibious. So, as tide levels dictate, we will be driving or sailing across to the castle. Now, you must remain seated at all times and keep everything on board. Company, we will now find out if you have retained the important safety information for this trip. This is the skipper. In the unlikely event of emergency, you will listen to him or a member of his crew. Now, where is the skipper?
At the front, Sergeant!
Militia, where are the emergency exits?
One on the left, one to the right, Sergeant!
And not forgetting?
One hatch in the rear, Sergeant!
Correct. Now, in case you were wondering, there is a life raft or inflatable device at the rear should the need arise. Now,
Just about to enter the water.
Understood?
Yes, Sergeant!
From Jones, front and centre. Private Jones will now demonstrate putting on the life jacket. Place over your head.
On the amphibious vehicle, which takes you to the Elizabeth Castle.
Together. What do we do?
Line up! Line together, Sergeant!
Board is adjusting by pulling on the loose end. There's also a whistle for attracting attention. Infant life jackets will be issued by the crew. If you're unsure, you must refer to the life jacket safety card by the side of your seat. Do you understand?
Yes, Sergeant!
Excellent. God save the king!
God save the king!
Radisson Blue to our left. See on the ferry, going back to shore. Coming into just coming up the slipway to Elizabeth Castle. So here we are coming to the entrance of Elizabeth Castle.
wanting to go on the guided tour, then just stop there at the legends. It does finish in time for the living history. It does finish in time for the midday parade. So anybody on the guided tour, if you want to go into that corner of the castle, yes, you just got the stairs there. Thank you. Yeah, they're just, you see where that lady in the yellow? Yeah. That lady in the blue and the gentleman in the yellow. So just in that corner there.
So things to do at Elizabeth Castle, guided tour, midday parade, flintlock musket demonstration. That's the view from where we've just come from. This is the view from the amphibious vehicle that brought us here from the bay, which leads over to there. And as we make our way around Elizabeth Castle, so we follow the tram lines, which has obviously been added in the Second World War by the Germans. It looks locked, but this takes you to a bunker. A searchlight bunker. This is a little bit overgrown. In there. I'm not sure if you can go in, it's locked. That's just a searchlight bunker. Elizabeth Castle. As we make our way up, I think that's locked off as well. Yeah. This is obviously out of bounds. This is all closed off. But this was added during the Second World War by the Germans. You can tell by the structure of the concrete as well. And this would have been some sort of tram skirt wall of Elizabeth Castle. As you can see, I'll put the camera over the top. we make our way along the skirt wall. Obviously there's renovation works going on, as you can see from the scaffold. That's the searchlight bunker we just passed. That's the main as you come through. There's another view from the skirt wall. As we make our way through. And then this will take you into the main grounds of Elizabeth Castle, where you've got the 3 cannons. As you can see in the distance, there's more renovation works going on. This is a view from the other side of the skirt wall, which leads you right round to obviously more cannons, more defences. Germans in the Second World War, fortifications everywhere. All the birds just resting on the beach. That's a view from the other side. And this is all the green. More cannons now. 8 cannons along this stretch. Fortifications. As we walk down. 8 cannons in a row. Defending the castle. So we're entering the main Still with the original doors. The third gate. We've obviously got a little cafe area here. Castle Garden Cafe. Renovation works are carrying on in this main part now. That's staff area. This is the parade ground. As I pan round, quite a large parade ground. As you can see, that's a shame about the renovation works, but it is what it is. That's very well, nicely maintained. The big building in the centre of the parade ground. As we make our way up. We're on the upper rampart. That's from the other side. Again, German bunkers, which were obviously added in the Second World War.
better than that, I'm sure. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elizabeth Castle. I'm your host today, Master Gunner Jonathan Gilman. I'm from the year 1781. I wear the uniform of King George III's Gunners, the Royal Regiment of Artillery. We are the men who man the cannons, which are the reason why this whole site exists. You are standing or sitting upon a massive cannon platform, extended through the ages, and in 1781 there are 80 cannons in Elizabeth Castle to defend the island of Jersey. Just off centre of St Aubin's Bay, the castle was started after the Spanish Armada. You heard of the Spanish Armada? You heard of the Spanish Armada?
Yes.
Oh, they're back there?
Yep.
Yes, good. You all heard of the Spanish Armada? What year was it? Oh, British history, yes. I didn't know till I started here many hundreds of years ago. Spanish Armada failed in 1588. What year was the Spanish Armada?
1588.
Again, ladder.
1588.
1588, you're never going to forget it. Because if the Spanish had landed in southern England, they'd have overrun England and Britain. We'd all be forced to speak Spanish. Elizabeth, Queen of England, Elizabeth I would have been killed. King Philip of Spain would be King of England. He would make us all speak Spanish, and we would all know how to say chorizo properly. It says so on the packet, you say it the way you see it, that's the way it works. They failed, but if they had landed, they would have been reinforced from the Spanish Netherlands. King of Spain owned half of Europe, his dynasty. Spanish Empire, most powerful in the world. Best equipped, latest equipment, well-trained troops. 30,000 of his best troops would have sailed over from the Spanish Netherlands and overrun England. But it failed, because of the English Channel, the good old English Channel, the weather, saved Elizabeth. A tempest, a storm, a hurricane blew the Spanish through the Channel into the North Sea. And it's getting colder and colder. They didn't like it, I tell you, they didn't like it. They're from Spain, where it's hot, and the wind blew them ever northwards. Past northern England, past northern Scotland, around into the Arctic Ocean, round the Hebrides. Is it the Hebrides? Shetland, yes. Round the Northern Isles then. They went round into the Western Isles or in the North Atlantic. Terrible storms pushed their ships and battered them against the rocks. Then they sailed down into the Irish Sea, which is like a puddle. It's always dead flat, subtropical. Is it not? It is not. It was treacherous waters. Less than a large third of the Spanish Armada made it back to Spain. Philip was humiliated. Did he care? Yes. Was he particularly bothered? No. He's the richest man in the world. He will build another Armada. Therein lies the cause, the creation of Elizabeth Castle. They drilled and practiced with this weapon, and the uniform of the British infantry is bright red, vermilion. So they are known as
Redcoats.
redcoats, lobsterback, red devils. Their job is to look after this weapon. This is their life. They look after the weapon, they maintain it, they mend it if it's broken. But they would learn to fire with ammunition mostly. British Army had access. Gunpowder and shot, as did the artillery and the Royal Navy. So we practice more with live ammunition than our enemies. We are quicker. The average firing rate for the British Army is 3 shots a minute. That's the average. So some are doing 4, some are doing maybe 2.5, 5 in 2 minutes. But the average is 3 shots a minute. Most continental armies could manage only 2. So the British Army are firing a more powerful weapon, quicker. If you want to know what that effect has on a battlefield, see me at 2 o'clock. But the word musket denotes the barrel. It's smoothbore. There's no rifling in it. Rifling is expensive. If you bought a rifle, we gave it to a soldier, for the same money you would get 10 muskets. So you've got a lot more firepower with this weapon than you have a rifle. It's not until later on, when they can mass produce rifles and machine them in the Victorian age, a rifle becomes standard for the British Army. So we've got a steel tube with a hole in the side in this case, and this is our flintlock. The flint is the black bit on here. It's a piece of stone hewn from a big lump of flint, goes from over 35 feet, approximately 10 metres underground. It takes skill to split the flint into like roof tiles. You split the roof tiles into strips. You bang the strips into tiles that have sloping edges. But the leading edge is always razor sharp, like a chisel. It's there. If I pull my thumb across there, there'll be blood everywhere. So pull the trigger, the razor sharp edge flies forward rapidly. It does this. This is slow motion. It hits a piece of metal known as a steel or a pan cover. It's got 3 names actually. We'll call it pan cover because when it hits it, the pan cover is sprung. So, when it is struck, it always moves forward. When it moves forward, the pan cover reveals the pan underneath. The pan is a groove, about a fifth of the size of a teaspoon. It holds less than 1 gram of gunpowder, a pinch. But that gunpowder is loose. It's not compacted, it is aerated. So with extra air, instead of exploding, it flares, produces flame and smoke. You will see that. The flame and heat of the flame go into the barrel through a tiny hole here, known as the vent. This pin is in the vent, it will not go all the way in. The tiny hole. That's just to show it's there. So flames outside can go inside. We do the same with a cannon, but they didn't put flintlocks on cannons until Nelson's time. When the flame goes into the barrel, compressed in the barrel, there's about a 1 little finger value in volume of gunpowder. It's approximately 19-20 grams, 2/3 of an ounce, because the musket ball weighs approximately 1 ounce, 28 to 30 grams, excuse me. Had some bad gin yesterday, some fool watered it down. Most upsetting to my digestibles. So, pull the trigger, flint makes sparks, powder outside flares and burns, flames go inside, compressed inside, the gunpowder acts as a single molecule, there's no air gaps, and it detonates, it explodes. In 1/100th of a second, it becomes 1,000 times bigger. That's what pushes a shot out of any weapon. Big cannon, the same happens, bigger barrel, larger shot, a lot more gunpowder. But that is the principle of gunpowder. It is mixed and it does the same in any weapon. I'm going to do that now. Hold the musket in the left hand, I'll tell you why later on. Take out a cartridge, a simple tube of paper. In this case it's a blank round, it is square at the bottom. If it were a live round, the musket ball would be tied in with string on both sides, hemp twine. This end would look like a lollipop or a dolly peg. You youngsters don't know what a dolly peg is, that's a project. Look it up on the internet. You learn a lot on there, apparently. Apparently all your information is stored in the cloud. Well, I can't see it. I have to read books and more books to learn all about this and how to use it. The top end forms a tab, you use your teeth. I'll tell you why later on. Bite, tear and spit. Open cartridge. No spillage, that's important. Gunpowder goes in the groove. You cannot measure 1 gram, but you can fill it so it curves just above the sides, close the cover. This weapon is now primed. This is my priming powder, it burns. The rest of the gunpowder goes into the weapon. It sprays down, all the gunpowder goes into the barrel. Empty the cartridge. Totally empty. The paper always goes in, because if the musket ball's tied in there, you are loading your ammunition. Before you had to have separate powder horns, you put your musket ball in afterwards, put in a piece of cloth in to do all this. Your rate of fire was reduced. So, the cartridge goes in, deploy the ramrod, minimum 3 hits. Straight down the barrel, wait a minute, oh, getting old, eyesight's going. Oh, for good luck, why not? It's Friday. Is it Friday?
Yep.
So I've got a loaded weapon and it could be very dangerous. It is potentially dangerous, but it is set to a safety position. It will not fire. I am pulling the trigger. When I move this metal arm back and it clicks the second time, it is live. When I do it once, I've done that now and I've just knocked the bit forward, so I need to reprime. Fortunately, I've got a repriming cartridge. Already open, don't need to tear it, close the cover. So we're back at half cock and ready to fire. Have a care this afternoon. This weapon is loaded. It will be fired after a count of 3. I moved the muzzle away because the gunpowder force spreads at full force 90 degrees to the barrel. If I fired in this area towards you from this distance, it would blow your eardrums out and the burning gunpowder travelling over 200 miles an hour will burn straight through your clothing, into your skin, into your internal organs. So I'm pointing it this way because I like you. Firing after 3. If you move a little this way, you'll see the flame better. Go in line with this, move in line with this. It's a right-handed weapon. I'm blocking your side. You stay there, little man. Unless you want to go on the wall and hold up a balloon. Good lad. Firing after 3. Have a care. If you're a bit worried, cover your ears, the flat of your hands. You're behind the sound. You are safe. The sound wave's going to go up and over the wall. Be prepared for a loud bang. I will count to 3 and pull the trigger. Cover your ears if you wish. 1. Fully cock. 2. Take aim. 3. Give fire. Thank you.
If you like the video guys, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.